Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to New Beginnings with me, Fatima Asmal. Today we are once again joined in the studio, which is actually the Lifestyle Center at Antique Cafe in Durban, by the two rather beautiful women that we spoke to in the previous episode as well. That is Iman Wilmot and Maliha Michaels, who shared their story of how they came to Islam last week, and who this week will be sharing some of their wisdom and some of their perspectives on Islam and their journey since converting with us. Assalamu alaikum, Iman and Maliha, and welcome back to New Beginnings.
Alaikum salam. Thank you.
So, last week you actually discussed your journey with us, and you told us how you came to Islam. We discussed this really beautiful friendship that the two of you have going, and we spoke about a lot of the positives. We also touched on some of the challenges, but we didn't really unpack them because we didn't have the time to do so. But before we get to them, and I think in answer to this question, you may respond with some of that anyway, I want to ask you about a comment that you made when we were actually off the set last week. And you said to me that I don't realize, or Muslims don't realize, how grateful they should be to actually be born Muslims. Could you elaborate on that, both of you? First you, Iman, and then you, Maliha. Why should Muslims who were born Muslim be so grateful to have been born Muslim?
Yeah, I think that you have this wonderful religion. You were born into it, and you're so fortunate to be able to practice this religion freely and openly and with your families. And it's difficult for us because we, like I said before, we have to find places to pray. We have to do things in secret, and it's so difficult for us, and it's lonely. And we don't have all of the opportunities that you had, that Muslim people have, born Muslims have, from when they were younger, where they get taught from when they were a young age. They can practice freely in their homes. They have all of this opportunity, and it's sad sometimes to see that a lot of Muslims don't practice as they should, and they don't take it as seriously as they should. Which, I mean, I don't really know too much from experience, because all the ones that I've met so far have been just amazing. But I do find that in obviously in all religions there's some that will not take it as seriously. But you guys have had all of that. You've got the family and you've got everything. And for us, it's really difficult because we don't have that. We just have ourselves, and it's something that we've really wanted to achieve later on in life.
Yes, I'll go a little bit further with what Iman is saying. Use an example. Eid, our first Eid, we spent it with close friends. And we sat there in awe. We were like, they're just going to go and pray. Just like that while we're all sitting here, And we're like, we want this. This is something that we would love to have one day, inshallah, But yeah, for us, we go to our room, we hide away, we pray, we hopefully hope and pray that nobody will make noise, that no one will make noise. It's hard. It is hard. But one day it'll be good.
So in a sense, a lot of us who are born Muslim have to be careful or wary of taking the fact that we were born Muslim, or taking Islam for granted, and taking the ability to be able to practice Islam for granted. We have to be wary of that.
Yes, coming from an outsider's perspective, Christianity is vastly different. So we're coming with that knowledge and that experience, and we're seeing what we have, and it's like complete opposite to what we know it to be, and it's just so appealing, and it's so welcoming, and so much love that's what we see. Yes, there's negatives in everything, but this is what we are holding in high regard.
It's also because, I mean, you know the truth, right?
Yes.
You know where this religion leads you. Like, it's so beautiful, and this is everything that we were drawn to Islam from the beginning when we started looking into it. You guys have known it from the beginning, and that's like, we are envious, if that's like even the right word, that you guys have had this for so long. You've had from when you were born. And it's
We've been exposed to it.
We've had such a little bit of time with it, and it's beautiful. And then born Muslims have had it for like their entire lives, and that just kind of
I think for us as well, coming into it later in life, if that's the right word, we're not that old.
No, we're not old.
But middle, towards the middle, that we will take it more personally, more serious than a child, you know, that they know, oh, we have to go to Majesta classes, and you know, so we know the difference.
A child is
we can tell the
Islam
difference
on a platter if it's
exactly.
born in a Muslim home, whereas you guys had to go actively searching for it.
Yes.
Yeah. And we still have to learn more. And there's, I mean, I think we're always constantly learning whether you're born Muslim or not.
Absolutely.
But it's that time period. I mean, I've only experienced Islam for the past 2 years, and there's people that I know that have had it for the last 30 years, and you're just like, it's awesome. Like, how do you not want to do it? You know, or how do you not want to follow it? And especially, like, you kind of do see a few that are like strayed away and that type of thing. And I'm just like, I don't get it.
Why?
You know the truth, and if you know the truth, then you should just, you know, continue down that path.
You spoke about learning and how it's a never-ending journey, and you have to learn. You guys are, I mean, you ladies rather, are actively studying Islam. In what format are you studying it? Are you going for weekly classes or daily classes?
Weekly
and how is that
classes.
going for you? Is that difficult? Learning a new language, learning how to pray, the postures. Has this been challenging, and how have you coped with that challenge?
It's weekly classes. We go once a week. It's the highlight of our whole week.
We love it.
Actually, we love it. That's we from the day before. We are as happy as can be, like kids on Christmas Eve. That's us. We're like, okay, tomorrow's our lesson. And now we actually, the harder things.
Well, we've been told
had
that the
to
hardest
learn.
things for born Muslims, if you want to call it that, like that type of thing, have been the easiest thing for us to adjust to. So it's
So
we
the
kind of
most
done it the
simple
opposite
things
way
is
around.
more
Yeah.
harder.
Yeah, we've done it the opposite way. So basically what we're learning is we're learning Arabic. Well, obviously we just like on the joinings and the letters and, you know, the small grade 1 stuff. But
Why did you say that?
it's grade 1. It's
Say it was
we're
grade
moving to
1.
grade 2, which is good. But we've been doing it for 9 months now.
Yeah.
And we're doing the Arabic, and we're learning Quran, and then we're learning
Du'as.
we're learning our du'as and salah and all the postures and everything. And it's
Surahs.
fantastic because now at least we know how to pray. We know how
Probably
to
is.
do all of that. And we're up to 5 surahs at the moment, which we
Yes.
can like now recite. So it's really fun, and it's yes, it's a little bit difficult and it's a little bit strange. Coming from a person who does not do languages, I mean, if you have to ask me about Afrikaans, it's not going to happen, even though I've learned it. I can't speak it, but when it comes to Arabic, I grasp it so much easier.
Okay.
It's enjoyable. We absolutely thoroughly enjoy it.
Alhamdulillah. One of the other aspects that I've often heard being discussed when it comes to the issue of converts or reverts, whichever of the terms you prefer, is that sometimes somebody converts to Islam or embraces Islam and becomes overly enthusiastic and wants to do too much too soon. I've heard this. I've heard this been spoken about. I'm not saying that I agree with that. Have you ever been told that, or is this something that you've ever been conscious about within your minds and hearts?
No, not necessarily. Although we have come to these past few weeks after my mom died, we have asked just to take it a little slower because we were, I think for 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, we didn't go to our class. So we're like, okay, this is becoming just a bit overwhelming, like on the first day. So we said, if you don't mind, and it was absolutely, definitely, we completely understand. We'll go back a little.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we have been told once or twice, like, slow down. You don't need to learn everything in one day. But it's so exciting to want to learn everything. You want to know everything, and you want to, you know, because it's such a beautiful religion, you want to know everything, and so you kind of like actively like reading books and you know, and that type of thing. But you know, it's everybody has to do it in their own pace.
Yeah.
You can't learn everything overnight, and like they say, you'll never be able to learn every single thing about it in your entire life, I don't think. So. But it's a learning process, and we're enjoying it.
What about marriage? Do you think that finding a spouse, or finding sounds so derogatory, I don't actually like the word, but meeting somebody that you're compatible with within the Islamic faith, are you hopeful, optimistic about that, or do you think this is something which could be challenging for somebody who has converted to Islam?
It could be challenging.
Yeah.
I don't know what the stigma is around born Muslim men wanting to marry reverted women.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure about it. I haven't experienced it as of yet. Obviously, we have had like 1 or 2, you know, men approach us, but not for marriage particularly, I don't think. But yeah, I'm not quite sure how difficult it would be. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think that it would be actually it would be really nice. I would prefer a born Muslim because, I mean, at the end of the day, you're there to teach each other and you're there to help each other, and this is what you do. You marry because of that. And
as long as he's willing to help us, so.
Yeah, if he's willing to teach, then, you know, that's all the better.
I have to ask you this, and I'm going to ask it in as crude a way as possible. I asked it like this when we were preparing as well. Do you find being a white woman who has converted to Islam that you hit on pretty often, and what does it make you feel like?
Yeah, it's difficult because the general idea here, especially in Durban, is all Muslims are Indian. And that's like the general consensus of like when people look at it from an outsider's perspective. So for me, being a white woman reverted now to Islam, and then I get it often. I get it often. It maybe be seen as something that's not of the norm and maybe a rarity, and it kind of makes you feel a little objectified. And it's not really a good thing. I have been objectified before. I mean, I think most women, when you ask them if they have, they've definitely felt like that in their life before. And because I kind of stick out like a sore thumb every now and again, I do feel like that is something that you shouldn't really be looking at. It's not something, I'm the same as everybody else. I mean, whether I'm white or Indian or Muslim or Christian or anything, I am the same as everybody else. There is nothing spectacular about it. I can guarantee you. Maybe just my personality might be different to everybody else, which is great because you know.
I can vouch for that.
But that's about as far as it goes. I have 2 arms, 2 legs. I'm pretty much
Okay, well, the issue of hijab is actually something that is closely linked to the objectifying of women.
Yes.
But we're going to cross over for a break now because that's a lengthy discussion and it's something I'm really excited to get into with the two of you. But for now, we're going to take a short ad break, and when we return, we'll be discussing the hijab with Iman and Maliha. You would notice that neither of them wear the hijab, and they want to tell us why. It's not something that I wanted to impose upon them because I believe that wearing the hijab is a personal choice, but they actually want to chat about it and they want to share their perspectives. So they'll be doing that after the break, inshallah. Welcome back to New Beginnings, where I'm joined by Iman Wilmot and Maliha Michaels. Before the break, Iman was talking about how she sometimes feels objectified by Muslim men who find the concept of a white woman being Muslim exotic, and closely related to that is the subject of hijab, which we're now going to get into with these lovely ladies. So, tell me about the hijab. You have elected not to wear it at this stage of your life, and it is something that you want to talk about. You want to tell our viewers why, so go for it.
Well, I haven't started wearing hijab yet. I have tried it out, obviously. We have watched YouTube videos of how to put it on, and we do that. I do want to wear it eventually. It's a little bit of an adjustment for me because, you know, we come from a background of nobody wearing hijab. Yeah. So everybody that I know previous to this, I still am in contact with. So it's a little bit difficult to make the adjustment, especially when it comes to work life. Family life is okay. I wouldn't mind wearing it around family, but when it comes to work and stuff like that, there are certain things that, you know, it would make it a little bit difficult. However, it is a beautiful thing to wear. I came across, I was busy playing around with the hijab the one night, and I was you know, just putting it on in different styles and figuring it out. And I couldn't quite grasp the whole thing of it. And I sat there the one night and I was looking at myself in the mirror thinking I look like a teenage boy and I look terrible and my face is fat and I can't look at this. And it's just, you know, it was just horrible. And then I took it off and my hair fell out and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I'm not saying, but I'm saying you know, it was beautiful the way that it just changed a person completely. So the very next day, I told Mania, I'm like, you know what, you need to come to my bedroom. I want to show you something. So I did the whole thing. I put the hijab on. I said, so now just look at me for a few minutes, you know, just stare at this horrible boyish face. And then I'm going to take it off. And I took it off and I was like, can you imagine a man, your husband, sees this one person the entire day. And then you get home and then he sees this person take it off and it's just a whole other person. So he gets his wife during the day and then he gets his wife at night. You know what I mean? So there's there's a beauty behind it because it's for him, it's not for anybody else, and you choose who gets to see you.
Yeah.
And that empowers you completely. It's not an oppressive thing, it's an empowering thing because you get to decide that. So there's no objectifying a woman in a hijab. Well, I mean, they certainly can try, but it's not going to feel like that for me.
Are you agreeing with this?
Yeah, absolutely. I did the whole test.
She took it a step further.
I went as far as putting on a niqab as well.
Niqab?
Yes, I did. We did it, but we're still trying to find out.
I think we need to tell the viewers, though, in case they're not familiar with the terminology, that the hijab is actually just the head covering, and then the niqab is the face veil.
Yes.
Yeah, but the half one.
Okay, so you tried out the half
one.
niqab.
Yes. We're still trying to see which style complements the face. You know, we do have rounder faces than most, so we're trying to look to see which one will make us look Muslimah. You know, so we've got a niqab, we put it on, and I was like, okay, the eyes needs to be done, absolutely. And then I took it off, and I was like, okay, I get it. So while you are walking in, you have your hijab, your niqab on, and then you're like, yes, my love, hi. Hi. And then he sees you, and then it'll be like, absolutely, there's my wife that I married that day.
I don't know if ladies are going to be upset with you.
Well, that's not personal. This is because you must remember, we're coming from a background where we did not need to do that.
Yeah.
This was us, you know, so yeah. So you can look like a boy during the day.
Exactly, look like a little teenage boy during the day, and then beauty, like exotic woman at night. But it does come from
your one specific.
Yes, for your one specific. And that's what's nice about it, because, you know, we've gone through growing up at a young age, and then even through our adult life, we've had catcalling and men walking and smacking us up on the bottom. Bottom. Is that the word? And you know, like that type of thing. We've had that type of behavior from men before, and it doesn't make you feel good. It doesn't make you feel like you're on a pedestal.
Yeah.
It's just not a good feeling.
You had wanted to say something about this, didn't you?
Yes.
Since the time you were a teenager, you felt
yes, we did. I mean, from the age of 13. That's my daughter's age. So there was things that happened, you know, that. Well, how can I say? I think that if we had grown up being covered, you know, not walking around with shorts on, whatever, you know, you're doing that as a child. But yeah, we shouldn't have had to go through those types of things, you know. Not just catcalling, there was physical stuff happening to you, you know. If we knew to cover up, and we would have been sheltered from that type of a deal. Kind of, in my opinion.
Okay, because
for what happened to me.
Okay.
Yes, in my opinion, I think so. But I mean, from the age of 13, stuff did happen. Stuff happened to me with Muslim men as well. But you know what? As I said to you, that's one small thing. I refuse to put a damper on what I've witnessed and what I know to be now.
Okay, because we want to add
so
a
that's
disclaimer here. We don't want people to now say, oh, well, Maliha is saying that women ask for it.
No, absolutely not.
No. You're just
absolutely
saying that
not.
The hijab makes you feel...
That's for me, that's me personally, how I feel.
Okay.
You know, a lot. I mean, I've been through so much. So much has happened, not just only catcalling. So that's my personal opinion for myself.
So the intention is to wait someday?
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
You also quite interested in the niqab, you were saying?
I am, yes. Yeah.
Why?
I just feel it's beautiful. I just feel that it's a beautiful thing for somebody to wear, and yeah, it's empowering. And I want to.
It's personal.
I want to keep me for that specific person. I don't want to have to share it with everybody else. I want to feel closer to God. I want to feel, you know, that is my ultimate goal. And I feel like if I wear that, then it would remind me constantly of where my place is and where I'm supposed to be. But also it's a beautiful thing to wear. And I think it's just the most gorgeous thing to see on a woman. I don't think most people, like maybe some people won't share that same opinion, but I think it is stunning. I think it's the most divine looking thing that you could ever wear on a woman, you know. And I've always
And
seen
you
it.
have all these pictures on your phone.
I have
of women
so
in
much
full
of
pink
it.
niqabs.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
and yeah, it's just a beautiful thing. And I think that, you know, wearing hijab and wearing niqab is something that reminds you of that covenant, and it reminds you of that promise that you've made to God. And that is also something that's very important. So it kind of checks you, it puts you in place. If you are sitting around and you see, say, for instance, a boy, and you want to confront them, and you're just sitting and you're thinking, okay, but you know, it kind of reminds you of who you are.
Yes.
Makes you more conscious.
Yeah, it makes you more consciously aware of who you are and what you stand for. And that is something that I think it would be important for girls.
Absolutely.
Have any people from within the Muslim community judged you for the fact that you become Muslim and you aren't wearing the hijab?
No.
No.
What have your teachers said to you about the hijab?
They have explained it to
They've
us.
explained it to us, yes.
Yeah, but they don't force us to
No,
wear
they don't.
anything. Obviously, we wear it to masjid if we need to
Yes,
go,
we
but
do.
we don't wear.
We've worn it a few times.
Yeah, we've worn it a few times. We have attempted it. Like I said, it's a little difficult.
Mine was the last, the luncheon that we went to.
Yes.
I did mine, and one of the ladies actually mentioned, she actually mentioned, she's like, you are having so much problems with this scarf because it kept falling down and I kept having to pick it up a little. So I'm like, yeah, I will adjust it.
Yeah, we've had some good, but I mean, we haven't come across anybody that's minded that we never wore it.
Nobody.
And yeah, we get encouraged. They say, you know, one day you're going to wear it. And
What
it'll
needs
be
to
okay.
happen in your life in order for you to be able to wear it, since you're so passionate about it?
I don't know. I mean, we do wear it as a turban. I wore it the last time, so I don't know.
I think it's an internal struggle. I think it's just getting
Because
past
you're
the
not
mindset.
used to it, yeah.
We're just not used to it, yeah.
Okay,
But,
another thing which we had discussed was when you had become Muslim, or when you wanted to become Muslim, one of the first places you went to was actually the mosque.
Yes.
How often do you go to the mosque now since you've become Muslim?
We were going every week.
Yeah.
You know, at least once a week we would pop in and do it. It's easier for us to actually go there to do our salah, because being at home to do it is just a nightmare. You know, there's distractions. We have to hide away. We've got to lock our doors. So being there, we can then pray freely, and that's what we want.
It's so peaceful
in our homes. So
we kind of go there earlier than we're supposed to. We've sat on the carpet.
So the mosque in the life of a convert Muslim woman plays a very significant role.
Yes. It's a safe place.
It is.
Okay, because the reason I'm asking the question is because there is a raging debate about women going to the mosque that always comes up in South Africa. And I often, at the mosque which I go to, which is different from the one that you go to, I regularly see convert women there. And they tell me that it is a place of solace for them.
Yes, it is.
And it's a place they can go to and be in their own pure space to remember Allah. And to just reflect and be with other Muslim people. So is that something that you ladies feel as
Absolutely,
well?
I agree.
Yeah, because you must understand, I mean, if you had to sit at home and pray and you have to hide away from somebody and you have to do it quietly and you have to be in your own space versus going somewhere where you would be comfortable and there are other Muslim women there and you would be able to do it freely.
They are so welcoming and so the most friendliest people, even though we do not know them.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for sharing these beautiful perspectives on hijab. We're going to leave it there for this segment. And after the break, we'll talk about something else, which we were discussing during our research phase, as I like to call it. Thank you, viewers, for joining us. If you are tuning in now, this is New Beginnings with me, Fatima Asmal, coming to you from the Lifestyle Center at Antique Cafe in Durban. We're talking to Iman Wilmot and Maliha Michaels, chatting about being a new Muslim in inverted commas. Don't really like the terminology, but for the lack of a better term, I'm using that. And when we get back from the break, Maliha and Iman actually have some ideas for us as to how we can be more user-friendly in terms of people who actually are interested in Islam. So wait for that. I think it's something that's really going to inspire us as born Muslims and give us food for thought. But that will come up after the break, inshallah. See you then. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to New Beginnings. We'll be chatting to the very beautiful, inspirational, and really, really witty Iman Walmit and Maliha Michaels. So Iman and Maliha, here are these two women. One of them has stumbled upon a YouTube video. This has sparked an interest in Islam within her. She starts to research Islam further using social media, using the internet, using YouTube. She shares it with her friend Maliha, and the both of them chat about it, and then they decide, okay, we want to take this further. We want to know more. Yeah. What happens next? Did you feel lost at this stage?
Yeah, at this stage now, I didn't quite know like what to do next. So my only other option was to either get into contact with one of a scholar, but a well-known one, which obviously now I didn't know anybody in South Africa, or the other option was to go to the nearest mosque, and that obviously proved to not be a very good option the first couple times. But
why?
It's difficult. Well, I think here it's difficult because when you go to the mosque, sometimes there's nobody there. So that's also a little bit of a challenge. So you never really know what the times, or nobody really knows the times of prayer. Especially if you're a non-Muslim,
exactly.
You don't know the times of prayer.
Okay, so you don't know what time to go to the mosque.
Yes, so you wouldn't know what time to go. And if there is somebody there, you might miss them. And also then if you go on a Friday, it's extremely overwhelming because there's just a whole lot of men and you're not quite sure if you should be able to go in there or not. So there is that little bit of like uncertainty of what to do. And as much as I looked into it and as much as I researched it, I did come across a few organizations that was possible that would be able to help, but I wasn't 100% sure. I did phone one and I never got through. But it's also very daunting. You don't know, you don't want to go into a big organization like that and like start asking questions because you're really not quite sure what you're going to get out of it. So we didn't really know what to do after that.
So what are you saying? When you're interested in Islam, there isn't really an identifiable or an easily identifiable place or point that you can reach out to where you can get more information about what to do next?
No, unless you actually do what we did and just approach an elderly man and hope for the best. Yeah. But no, none that we know. Yeah. It would actually be perfect if there was something like that.
So what are you suggesting? What are your thoughts? What do we as the Muslim community need to do in order to ensure that there isn't another Iman or Maliha or Michael or whoever out there that wants to know more about Islam and doesn't know what to do? What steps can we take? Concrete action steps?
Yeah, I think that there should be a place where people can go. Yeah, there should be an awareness for non-Muslims that if there is an interest in Islam, that there are a place that, especially for women, that we can go there, also for men as well, I mean, if they're interested. But there should be a safe place where they know that, you know what, there might also be maybe other reverts that are there that they can relate to, where you can go there, learn about Islam, even if you just have questions, that there will be a scholar that will be available to do it. If you want to learn how to tie the hijab, then that's somewhere where you can go and do it.
It has to, and it has to make your face look smaller.
Yes, like at least have a little bit of a professional tire that can do it all together, and you know, and where to go and buy abayas from, and where to go and buy the proper attire, because that's also something we had to just kind of wing it.
We went, yes, on our own. We did.
So we walked Sparks Road.
Yes,
we did the whole trek down that road. We did quite a few.
We almost got knocked a few times. Yeah, well, I did.
Yeah, we are lucky that we had each other in this part, because
somebody who doesn't have someone,
right? Because we didn't know what to do, and so we kind of like, she gave me ideas, I gave her ideas. We were like, okay, she's more the muscle in the relationship here, so she was like, don't worry about it, I got you. Let's go to these places, and I'm like, but it's a little dangerous. She's like, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. You know?
How did your attire change though? Well, did you dress very openly before?
Not really.
Not this. No, actually no.
But it was just the.
I mean, as a teenager, you do that. You want to look cute for yourself. But as an adult, no.
We weren't.
You cover up.
Yeah, we weren't ever the shorts and t-shirt type of people anyway.
So that hasn't been a big adjustment.
No. But we have fallen in love with more flowy.
Yes,
flowy clothes, and you know, it's just beautiful.
And so also, just to note that we do not wear dresses
ever.
We are more the pants, jeans type girls.
Before, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But now
It's like, oh my gosh, you see my princesses, and then we swish it around after we put it on in the change room. We're like,
So there's like a before Islam and after Islam.
yes.
Okay, so what you're saying is we need a one-stop Islamic information center.
right. Yes.
And you mentioned that when you watched YouTube videos, you saw that a lot of reverts or converts overseas were able to access whatever they needed via the establishment of the mosque.
Yes, there was.
Absolutely. I feel like, but there was always somebody at the mosque.
At the mosque.
And here, I think they're only, maybe it's just because of work, you know, and that type of thing. I'm not sure. I don't know how it works. But there's never really anybody, it's at certain mosques, maybe, I don't know, I haven't visited a lot, but there isn't really anybody readily available to be able to receive somebody when they're looking for information. Yes. So that is a little bit difficult. And I especially feel that for women, going into a mosque and then speaking to an imam is like, are you allowed to do that? No, I didn't know as a non-Muslim if I was allowed to do that. So that there was already, and so being able to have a place of safety and a place of, you know, there will be somebody there that will be able to relate to what you're going through. I think is very, very, very important.
Okay, so having had this experience yourself, what are you now trying to do as newly converted Muslim women for other people who are interested in Islam? Is there something? Are there any projects that you're looking to get involved in?
Well, we're hoping to get involved. You know, wherever we can help, definitely. I mean, we do get approached by. We were approached by a few people and asked questions. So we did assist with that.
Are you talking about people who are not Muslim?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So how did they find out about you?
We did. It was a speech that we gave at the opening of the mosque, and they asked us questions. We help because we come from there, you know, we still on our road. So, you know, we like helping.
Let me understand this correctly and unpack it for our viewers. So you're saying there was an open day at the mosque at which you attend and you ladies spoke there.
Yes.
So was the open day well attended?
Yes, actually there was a rather big amount of people that came that were non-Muslim. Also
mostly white people.
Mostly white people, which was quite...
who were not Muslim?
Yes.
Not interested in
male and female. Yes.
So
they asked a lot of questions.
Yeah. So they came. We did speak. We did demonstrations of
demonstrations.
Wudu demonstration and
salah. You know.
Okay.
So, we did demonstrations for them just to show them what it was like. They did ask a lot of questions.
Then we got separated for some time, and we were like, okay. Because we were together most of the day, and then.
How did you feel doing that? Did you feel empowered, or did you feel at a disadvantage because you felt you didn't know enough, or how did you feel?
Well, they wanted to know from us as well.
Yeah, we felt pretty good about it actually.
We enjoy helping people. Yeah, that's the thing.
And so if anyone wants to learn more, then I mean. Ask questions and
What kinds of questions came forward in this particular setting?
Well, I'll just use one as an example, like the salah. They asked why was there a difference between her, they said bending, her bending and mine. So we had to explain. Okay, I have a spine problem, so I can't have my body the way everybody else has their body. I won't be able to come back up. I'm gonna live down there. So I was like, okay, so that's different, you know. But other than that, as long as your feet are pointing to the Qibla, you know that. So
and they wanted to know, you know, why the men pray differently to the women,
and why we're separated,
and, you know, like
that type of thing, you know.
Just little questions that people want to know about is, you know, just general stuff about what we do and why we do it, and what is the significance for when, you know, washing with one hand and not the other hand, you know, like that type of thing. They were very interested in the actions that were taken and the significance behind it. So it was nice. It was nice to be able to share it with people that you wouldn't think normally would be interested in.
And it was a good thing that we were asked all questions that we knew the answers to.
Yes, because if we didn't know, that would be
But then the Imam was there, so he could have helped us if we didn't know.
Iman, being white and Muslim, is it still something that is very uncommon in your opinion in Durban?
It is a little uncommon. I have seen a few other ladies, which to my surprise, or maybe only after I reverted, then I kind of had a look and, you know, I did see a few. I don't see it that often, I have seen a few, but I haven't seen it that often. I would like to see more. That would be great. Because, you know, I think people also fail to realize, especially in South Africa, that it's not just Indian people that are Muslim. And if you go to Europe, and if you go to all of those other countries, you're going to see a lot of white Muslims. You're going to see a lot of Arab Muslims. You're going to see a lot of black Muslims. So I think there is still, like, people are a little bit shielded by the fact that they don't know what's out there. But yeah, there are a few. I have seen a few.
So what do we do to change this perception? Because it's come up over and over again.
Yeah.
To change this perception that Islam is an Indian religion.
I think that we have to educate people.
Yeah.
And we definitely have to educate the public and educate other people into showing them that Islam is a religion based on peace. It's not a religion based on culture.
Yeah.
It's not a religion based on the color of your skin, and it's not a religion based on where you live.
Absolutely.
So I think that you have to take away all of the other things. I think a lot of people also look at Muslims and they say, oh, it's an Arabic religion. It's only an Arab religion. Nobody else is supposed to be it. But then we're going to still put Indian people into that equation because they are of color. And I think that's wrong. I don't think that that's right. It's not. I mean, Islam is for everybody. It is for all mankind.
In the colored community, is Islam something
In Cape Town?
No, we're talking about Durban.
In Cape Town, yes. Not that. Well, family, yes. I have Muslim family. Coloreds, it's few and far between. Okay. But I don't seek it out. I don't really go because I honestly, I'm doing me. So it doesn't worry me at all. Okay. But I know I'll probably fit in Cape Town. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Okay, hold that thought, ladies. We're going to take a short break, after which we'll be back for our final segment with these beautiful ladies. I'm sure all of you, like me, hope that you could just speak to them for an extended period of time. Lucky me, I get to do that off camera. For you viewers, we have 12 more minutes with them coming up after the break, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to New Beginnings. Iman and Maliha, heading into our final segment now, Islamophobia. We know it's rife. We know that there are perceptions that people have about Muslims and to a great extent about Muslim women based on what the media puts out there. As new Muslims, do you ever find yourselves having to answer questions about this, and how do you tackle it? And how would you tackle it? How would you explain this to somebody who's watching who isn't Muslim and has all these negative perceptions about Islam based on what they've read in the media, what they've heard about ISIS, what they've read about Muslim women?
We have.
Yeah, we've had a lot of that.
We have.
Like,
how dare you? So how could you do that though? But then they're terrorists and they oppress women, and we got all those questions.
Okay.
And we had to tell them now that media is all negative, and then you not only that, in every religion it's negative. Every religion has its positives and its negatives as well. So don't just base what you see on TV by a certain selected few and then just paint everybody with the same brush. That's unfair. That is unfair. So no, I mean, Islam is peace. Islam is love, not what has been shown. No.
Yeah, I think that media has really made Islam out to be an extremist sport, if you want to call it that. And it's just unfair because, everything that you read in the papers and everything is all about terrorism and war and oppressive to women and that type of thing. And what they don't realize is that it's complete opposite. And everything that terrorism and extremism stands for is actually opposed by Muslim people. And it's complete opposite of it. And women are not oppressed. I mean,
no.
The difference between it is that when you start to involve culture into your religion, and then it just becomes something really bad, and you shouldn't do that. And I think that sometimes that's what people look at, especially in the Indian communities in Durban. You get a lot of cultural things in families that people do, and then they say, oh no, but that's just a Muslim thing, where it's not. It's a cultural thing, and that's, you know, you shouldn't have to look at it as such, and they do mix it together and it does become a problem. And I think that people will learn to understand that it is different when we educate them, and when people start asking the right questions, and when we have a platform to give the right answers. And I don't think that we have a good platform, because the media will only play what they want to play at that particular moment. And, you know, if we have a good platform to do that, then I think definitely we will be able to change people's minds. So what would that platform be? Something like this TV show, for example? Absolutely. This is definitely something that is going to benefit the public. I do think that it should be played on over all channels, not just on Muslim channels only. People need to understand that this is a good religion. And, you know, I keep saying that what happens if I had decided to convert to Judaism, or if I had to convert to some other religion? I don't think anybody would have had a problem with it. Yeah. And I think to myself, but why? Because Islam and Christianity are almost 90% similar. They're very, very similar, as opposed to other religions. If I had to convert to Buddhism, I think people would just be like, oh, okay, well, that's just another thing.
So it's almost a fear of the unknown.
It is.
Yeah. People don't understand.
It is.
Most Christians don't know that they're 90%, or according to you, similar at all.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. They don't know that it's
similar. They think we worship the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yes, exactly.
They don't understand that we are a monotheistic religion as well.
Exactly. Well, I mean, the biggest thing that I've had is when people say to me, oh, can you do me like you pray to your God? And I'm like, it's the same God. Yeah. It's the same God from Christianity to here. It's the same God. It's the same God that you pray to. I think my mother also says it sometimes, or my brother says it to me, where he's like, oh, no, you pray to your God. And I'm like, which God are we talking about? Because it's the same one. There's no difference in it. And I think that's where people get the wrong thing. So I keep telling them that when we say we pray to Allah, it just means that we are praying to God. Yeah. Christians and Jews and Arabs that living in Arabic countries pray to Allah. They don't pray to, you know what I'm saying? It's just the name. It's just a language. That's the only difference between these things. And it sounds foreign because we pray in Arabic. That's the only difference that we have. Well, not the only difference, but that's like, you know, I think that's what people see. That's what they perceive, is that the language is different.
Did that ever bother you, that we pray in Arabic?
No. I think it's beautiful.
It is.
Yeah. And I think that is important because, I mean, the Quran is in Arabic and we should be praying in its original form.
So two women growing up in a country which was based on racial constructs, segregated. Yeah. I'm assuming you didn't interact with thousands of Muslims in your life. No. Like everybody else, you probably saw Islam as an Indian religion as well. Yeah. You were bombarded by media images of what Islam is as well. Yeah. How is it that you were able to rise above all of this and do your own research, whereas so many people don't and just write it off as a violent religion or a cult or something irrational and stupid? How is it that two of you coming from your context were able to rise above all of that and research it and actually come to Islam?
Well, you know, I may not have known thousands of Muslim people, but growing up and now in my adult years, I have had many encounters with Muslim people, and you can see the difference. You can see the difference between, like with my family. I have a few as well as friends growing up, and you could see the complete difference from them and then the people that I know as my people, you know. And yeah, it was more positive.
You're not going to offend anybody by saying that.
Like what? That my people, as in colored people?
Yes.
Well, I could say that I'm either, knowing that I am colored. I'm a mix of many different things. So yeah, there's a complete difference between.
In what? In the practice of the religion?
No, them as an individual, them as a person, not just religion. No. You can see complete differences.
I can also vouch for the same thing. I never actually realized how many Muslim people I knew until I became Muslim myself, or until I started researching into it. But it was I think when you want to research, when you want to know more about it, you have to have an open mind. You have to be able to go into it and say to yourself, you know what, I'm actually going to try and I'm trying to understand as much as I can. And what helped was that the Muslim people that I was in contact with were so caring about these things. They want to help you, and you know, they want to like help you progress further. They want to teach you about it, and they want to put you on the right path. And they're so kind and they're so loving about it. Not everybody, obviously. I can't say that for everybody.
We haven't met everybody.
Exactly. So I can't say that about everyone. Yeah. Maybe some people have had bad experiences, but we've had only good experiences so far. And I think that when you accept Islam and when you have that type of faith and that love in you, it projects into other people. So, and I'm hoping that when we eventually get to the point where we want to, you know, the level that we want to be, as we're always striving to be good Muslims, but maybe they will see the same type of love and peace in us and will want to learn more about it.
May Allah bring that to fruition. I mean, I guess to answer my own question, it's also that Allah guides whomsoever He wills. Yeah. And He guided the two of you to Him. Yes. And that was something that He chose for you. Yes. And you were blessed and fortunate in that regard as well, and open-hearted enough to be receptive to that guidance. Is there anything that the two of you would like to share with our viewers out there? Remember, there are many people watching. There are people who are born Muslims. There are people who, like the two of you, have converted to Islam. Many of them may only find companionship through the medium of ITV. They may be really lonely on this journey, having converted to Islam. They may not have a Maliha or an Iman in their lives. Yeah. Many of them may not even be Muslim and may hate Islam. They may have just encountered this channel, or there may be others who are interested in Islam. I mean, there could be so many possibilities and scenarios as to who it is that's watching. So what would you say to them? First you Maliha and then you Iman. And you can look at that camera over there because you're talking directly to the viewers now.
Well, like I said last time, reach out. That's the main thing. Reach out, and if it's something that you want, something that you're really interested in, do your research. You are going to be shocked to know what you're going to find out. It's so much peace, so much love. Just, reach out and have an open mind. Absolutely.
Yeah. I also believe that you should have an open mind about it. And if you're a born Muslim, be a little bit gentle with us because we don't really know. And, you know, reach out to people that don't understand it and teach them, and, you know, give them an opportunity. Maybe even if you send a non-Muslim, a video like I got sent, and it will spark an interest. You know, do something positive to spread the word. And I believe that's what we're here for, is to spread the word. And for anybody that's looking to get more knowledge into Islam, contact somebody that you go to the mosque if you have to, like we did, or even, you know, contact somebody at ITV even that should, you know, and look us up on Instagram or anything, and get in contact with somebody that you would, you know, that may be able to help you, or may be able to relate.
You should see an email address on the screen right now. If you do have questions about Islam, or if you want to tell your story as to how you became a Muslim, feel free to contact that email address. The email will reach me, and either will try to help you directly or will refer you to someone. Or if you want to chat directly to Maliha or Iman or any of our other previous guests or future guests, I can also arrange that for you, inshallah. In conclusion, how would you respond to people who very cynically say, this is just a phase and you'll get over it. You're not going to be Muslim forever. How would you respond to that?
I would say to them that they are not me. No. And I know the truth, and I know that in my heart of hearts that this is the correct path. And if you would like, I wouldn't mind to educate them a little bit more on it. It's not a phase. It's not a phase. Once you know the truth, it's not a phase.
It really isn't. Coming from where we come from, it really isn't a phase. We're thoroughly enjoying it, and it is not a phase.
And you're committed to see this journey in this world through.
Absolutely. Wholeheartedly.
Well, thank you ladies for joining me. It's been absolutely a pleasure to have hosted you. I pray that Allah grants you so much barakah in your business. We learned last week that your business growing is a means towards you being able to practice Islam openly and freely, and I hope that Allah opens those doors for you, and I hope that your dream of someday hosting an Eid in your homes is fulfilled, and that I will be there.
Absolutely.
That the viewers can't see will be there as well.
Definitely. Yes.
There you have it. an absolutely inspirational story filled with hope of Maliha Michaels and Iman Wilmette. They just blew us away, and I'm sure you're as inspired as I am. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next week, when we'll be speaking to another individual about his or her journey to Islam and his or her experiences, both positive and negative, since taking that step. From me, Fatima Asmal, signing out on this episode of New Beginnings at the Lifestyle Center at Antique Cafe in Durban. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.